Like we talked about at the end of the session, in our set position, we have to remember if we do not come set in a good position, our pitching delivery is in trouble before we even begin. Okay? And we got to remember we need our weight back. And we are going to be able to see right away that our weight is not back enough for you for your set position. And we're going to be able to see that it's before you can lift this leg off the ground, your body is going to have to shift back. You're having to shift back. So now base runners don't even have to look at your feet to know when they can get into their secondary or when they can go to take the bag. They just have to watch you shift your weight back. So now base runners have an advantage on you, okay, which makes the catcher's job almost impossible to do because of the limited amount of time that you're going to provide them to be able to throw guys out, okay? So we have to remember we need to start with this weight already back so we don't have to be shifting it back to get the leg up. And we can even see what that looks like from here. And shift, 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 shift. We need to already be there. Okay? After that, we can see that the leg lift is just super small. We need to get this thing up high. We need to get this thing up as high as we possibly can. If we lift it up low like that, it's going to take us forever to get going. And we're just taking forever to get going. Like I said at the end, we have very little time here. From the time this foot comes off the ground, or in your case here, the moment you start to shift back, that clock starts. Okay? And we need to be at like 1.35 seconds to get this thing going. So if we're wasting time here, we have less to pitch with. And then if we're just going down, 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 down without going out at all, we're still no closer to throwing the baseball, and we've just allowed more time to go by. Okay? But that's not really what I want to talk about because that's not what's most important. What's most important is that our arm path is not in a very good position coming out of the glove. Okay? And look how your hand is. That needs to be completely 180 flipped. When the ball comes out of your glove, we need the hand just to fall straight down. You're turning your hand as it's turning or as it's falling out of your glove. You're turning your hand. Right now, that ball is facing us, and the top of the hand is facing first. But then, as you pull it out, it's still in that direction. So your hand has rotated. Boom. You see that? It's rotating. We want that hand to just fall down out of our glove without it spinning. So that way when it's here, the baseball is to first base and the top of your hand is facing us. We should not be able to see the baseball right now. Your body goes from this position and then it's got to get it into the position we just talked about. It's got to get the ball that way, top of your hand our way. So watch what it's going to do here. Boom, boom, right there. Now it's tried to get to the position it needs to. But this right here is a timing issue that if we are off by a hundredth of a second or a fraction of a degree, this throw can go literally anywhere. Okay? So we don't want to be pulling the ball out of our glove like this. It needs to be the complete opposite direction and stay in that direction. So it doesn't have to do this motion here. So it doesn't have to do this motion. All right. Then, after we address that arm, we have to remember, have to rotate our feet, have to rotate our knees, and we got to rotate our hips all before this front foot hits the ground. We, unfortunately, have really not done anything in terms of rotation with our lower half. We know the lower half has to rotate first, then the upper half rotates. So if the lower half is not rotating first, it's going to rotate second. And if it's rotating second, that means it's rotating with the upper half. And if they're rotating at the same time, we are not rotating our upper half as quickly as we could. And we are not rotating our upper half as freely and as stress-free as we possibly could. Okay? So we're going to see that your hip, knee, foot is not in a good straight line. It's on this angle inwards. So watch what the knee is going to do through release. Boom. That's all of our power, all of our command is just swinging out to the side as we're trying to throw this baseball. We can watch it from this view here. Boom. There it goes, just sliding out, sliding out, sliding out. And now we're in this position at release. Or as we finally get the lower body in the right position, your chest is wide open. We need to have found ourselves in this lower body position here, and our chest still in this position here. Our chest still in this position here. But because our chest is the reason our lower body rotates, the lower body will not rotate until the chest starts to rotate. Chest starts to rotate, and you're rotating in place and almost in negative space. We're not gaining ground or going downhill with this throw. Okay, so if we get you to where your lower body is finally in a good throwing position to be at front foot strike, meaning this lower body occurred as soon as this foot hit the ground, not after like it did. So let's assume you got your lower body to this position as soon as this front foot hits. The upper half would still have to be in this position here. And this is what we worked on for many, many weeks last year, is what we started with almost all of you guys had your videos of your lower body, and we did all those different drills to get our lower halves rotating. So this is something that we're going to have to go right back to doing again, and understand that when we throw the baseball and catch, this is what we have to be working on. Rotating our lower body into our stride. Okay? Look at this position at foot strike versus your position at foot strike. Look how much rotation has occurred in this back leg. This leg is straight to its target. It's not bending inwards. Okay? Your lower body does not get to this position until we get you here. But again, your chest now is straight to the target just to get your lower body into Zach Greinke's lower body. And we can see the difference in your upper halves. You have no ability to throw downhill from here like Greinke does. You got to throw down. You got to throw down. We got to be gaining ground with that throw, not just rotating in place, rotating in negative space, but gaining ground, gaining ground, gaining ground. All right, so we need better set position, much higher leg lift, and then we got to actually rotate our lower half before we get that front foot strike to occur.